welcome back to my channel. Today we've got a super fun hot chocolate DIY for you guys. We're going to be making hot chocolate bombs and snowman marshmallows, which as you'll see I do suggest you do alongside each other, because you can use the leftover ingredients from the bombs to make your marshmallows. So you'll need some chocolate, some milk chocolate or dark chocolate, and some white chocolate, hot chocolate powder, mini marshmallows, orange food colouring, and various other size marshmallows, medium and large, some bowls to melt your chocolate in, some spoons, and some cocktail sticks or skewers, that kind of thing, just to kind of decorate with, and some sprinkles, because sprinkles make everything all right. And of course you'll need some moulds. I'll pop a link in the description of the video below to where I purchased mine from on Amazon. So the first thing you need to do is break up your chocolate into separate bowls and melt it. Now I melt mine in the microwave, but if you want to do yours over a saucepan of hot water, then that is perfectly acceptable as well. So to make the bombs, obviously you need to have really nicely melted chocolate, and it really is as simple as pouring it into the mould. So as you can see, I'm using a spoon in which to do this. Now you need to make sure that your mould has got a really good covering. You don't want any holes or gaps or anything like that, so layer it up. The more chocolate in there, the better. If you need to put it in the fridge or freezer to kind of set a bit more and then do another layer, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, if you can see any ghosting, you want to make sure that you've got a really good coverage. But as you can see, I'm using the spoon to make sure that I'm pulling it up the sides. You want to make sure that you have got the chocolate right up to the top, and you want to have just as good a layer at the very top as you do down the bottom, because when you come to joining the two moulds together, you just want to make sure that there's enough chocolate there in order to join them together. So I made one white chocolate and the rest I made as milk chocolate. You can obviously do whatever ratio that works for you. If you've got people who are dairy free, then obviously you can do this with dark chocolate, or you can do it with a plant-based chocolate. Have a little experiment if you're using some different chocolates, if you don't know that it melts well before you embark on this. So yeah, you just want, basically whatever chocolate you decide to use, you want to make sure that it melts well and that it will reset and harden well at the same time, you know, afterwards. Okay, so once they're all filled, you then want to set your chocolate. I just put mine in the fridge for a little while and then went off and did something else. When you take the bombs out, you want to do it super duper gently. As you can see in that one, there was a little bit of ghosting, so ideally the best thing to do would be to go back over and just put a little bit more chocolate in that ghosting, and as you can see, one of them I got a little bit of a chip out of it, so the best thing to do would be to go and put more chocolate on it. But I was just filming and just trying to get them done for the video. It's always a bit tricky when you're trying to video things at the same time, but yeah, you'll have time that you can kind of take a bit more time over it and make sure that they're you know, you've got a really good coverage. To be fair, they work just as well. They're just not always quite as you know, they're not quite as robust. Like if you're giving them as a gift, they're not quite as robust if people, you know, are going to be handling it and things like that. Okay, so once your bombs are out, you want to take the whatever is going to be like the bottom, doesn't really matter. You want to put a couple of spoons in there of your favourite hot chocolate powder. So how much you put in all kind of depends on how much you like in your hot chocolate, I guess. I just put 2 teaspoons in, because you also want to make sure that you leave some room for your marshmallows. Now I didn't have any white chocolate powder, so I just put a few extra chocolate buttons in my white chocolate one, just to kind of make up for it so that it was chocolatey enough. And then you want to just fill up your cup with your bomb with your mini marshmallows. You can use bigger marshmallows if you want to. Obviously they take up a lot more room. But yeah, for a hot chocolate for me, it's mini marshmallows. So next up is the tricky bit, which is joining them together. And if you have children, this is the bit that you're going to need to supervise them doing. You're going to need something hot in order to melt your chocolate again. I'm just using a saucepan that I boiled a kettle of water and poured the boiling water into the saucepan, and then I tipped the water away, just so the bottom of the saucepan was hot. And as you can see, I just touched the bomb onto there to melt the chocolate. You can see some residual left on the saucepan, and then just sealed my bomb together with the melted chocolate. You can do this in whichever way you want to. If you want to sort of use a candle or something like that, anything that's warm to melt the chocolate so that you can, heat the edges and seal it together again. So yeah, you want to go ahead and do that. Do that for all your bombs. Now comes the decoration of the bombs. So I've just used some melted white chocolate just to drizzle over the top of the milk chocolate ones, just because that colour contrast. And then I just cover it in some sprinkles. At the time of making this video, I didn't have any Christmassy sprinkles, so I just used some hundreds and thousands that I already had in the cupboard. So that's what I mean. You can make them Christmassy. One of the things I'm going to do when I get some is crush up some candy canes and put some candy canes on the top, because I think they'll look lovely, and they'll also give the chocolate a minty taste as well. And you can actually crush up some candy canes and put them inside the bombs as well. I love putting candy canes and having a mint hot chocolate. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have Christmas sprinkles or candy canes, you can just use normal sprinkles, and that way they could be for any time of the year. So that's particularly good if you're gifting them, because people like hot chocolate all the times of the year, don't they? So so I did the drizzle over the normal chocolate ones first, and this is what I'm saying about using your leftover ingredients basically. So with the white chocolate that was left, I just added some orange food colouring to it, and it's the coloured chocolate that's going to be our snowman noses. Now, if you don't want to use white chocolate, you can also buy some candy melts, and you can get candy melts in all kinds of colours. But I just knew that you often get like bits in the bowl that sort of round the edges and things that there's not quite enough for the bomb or what have you. So yeah, I just thought using the white chocolate as the snowman, dyeing it, would be a really good way of using up some of the leftover chocolate. Now, you do have to be careful when you're putting melted chocolate on top of your bombs, because obviously the chocolate is warm, and the warmth of the chocolate that you're adding for your decoration can actually melt some sections of the bomb. So just be super careful with that. So next up comes the decoration of the snowman marshmallows, and I use a mix of like smaller ones and the giant American ones that you can buy. Just for fun. Just for fun. There's nothing, no specific reason. I just did a mix, thought it'd be cool. So yeah, this is where you're going to use up, as I said, all those like little scraps, as you can see in the milk chocolate, all those scraps that are kind of like round the edge that says, you can't quite scrape, or wasn't quite enough for making your bomb. which is why it's a really good idea to kind of do these two at the same time if you're gonna make it. Of course, you know, you can lick the bowl if you want to, which, you know, did happen in our house as well. But yeah, just if you want to make the marshmallows, it's a good idea to do them at the same time, then there's less wastage. So I was just using a mix of, just kind of like getting in my stride, a mix of cocktail sticks and skewers, just to kind of put the noses on, mainly in a sort of a triangle carrot shape. You just need to experiment to find your stride. Is a little bit tricky, a little bit faffy, but it's worth it because they look super cute. For your orange noses, so I found that just like dabbing it on and then pulling it through kind of gave that drag, that triangle shape. And then yeah, just using the back of a skewer there, just to dip it into the chocolate, and then like pushing it onto the marshmallows to give two eyes and a mouth, like a coal mouth. It was a little bit time consuming, I'm not gonna lie. If you've perhaps got some older children, it might give them something to occupy them, like perhaps in the run up to Christmas or something. You know, your elf could perhaps bring them some marshmallows and some chocolate for decorating, if they'll kind of tolerate that. I enjoyed it. I had some music on and kind of just got into the mindfulness of it. But yeah, it's tricky, sort of fiddly, but fun to do. So I put them all in the fridge to set, the bombs, the marshmallows, everything. And then once they were set, I put them in a box. Now the tin, I actually bought from a charity shop earlier in the year. I bought it, I thought it was really, really cute. And yeah, perfect for keeping your hot chocolate supplies in. The tissue paper I bought from the Christmas Prepper. You may remember last week I did an interview with her. If you haven't seen that, you can go and check that out. But she has a shop, and she sold that tissue paper, perfect for hot chocolatey things. And I just lined the tin with the tissue paper and put them in, and makes a perfect gift if you want to give this as a gift this Christmas. But also it makes me happy to open it and see the festiveness as well. So these are for us, and they won't last very long. What's left now is to enjoy them. So just heat up the milk of your choice. I like coconut milk for chocolates because it's just delicious. Yeah, so heat up your milk in a pan, then pour your warm milk into a mug, pop your bomb in, and just wait for the magic. The chocolate will melt and it will release all the goodness, and then you just want to get a spoon and just stir it up and enjoy, guys. And I really hope you've enjoyed this DIY tutorial, and if you do it and make them, I'd love to see if you'd like to tag me in your posts on social media. Oh, and PS, don't fill the mug too full with milk. Think about space and volume.